Happy Monday, folks. It is Monday, the 23rd day of May already. Who Vex? Good to have each and every one of you guys. Good to have you folks here with us, wherever you're joining us from around the world. Welcome to our humble podcast, our international podcast, Below the Belt. Welcome, folks. As you know, all the usual suspects can be lined up, ready to Get on with it. Tommy Gibbs is here. Beatrice Selby, first in line, first ringside, first in the Coliseum in this stadium. Outside, first, Beatrice Selby. Good to have you, Avril Goodman, as well. Good day, folks. Today we're talking about an issue in education, an education issue. Priya Bridgewater and Tucville School. Folks, we thought we had in some progress. We thought we were going to have some progress on Tucville School. But I don't know. We still, there was a protest today at the Ministry of Education. We're going to be sharing some of that with you. And we should have a guest as well with you guys. But just to let you know, let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. I do have the morning co-host for FYI with me today, Dorita Finance, is in the studio. She's fired up. She is ready to go. She can, topple governments right now, how she feels. Pace and power.
Hey guys, it's always a pleasure to be here.
Always.
I think I have safely become a little co-host for the
I think so too. I would say so. My co-host for the podcast.
for the Below the Belt podcast. I have been stopping in so often. I think I'm getting co-host status.
Yeah. I don't feel 100% today, so it's kind of pushing me.
Yes.
And helping me to get to the mark.
Of course, that's what we do. We have to push each other. My gosh, Sharon. Tongue twister.
I got pushed, I got pushed,
Push each other.
Folks, what are you guys having for lunch?
I'm
having some salty china and a boiled egg. Very gourmet. Some salty china.
Quite something.
The china is supposed to be salty with this iteration, this serving, very, very salty.
Crazy.
So,
but this morning, for the folks that joined this morning program, you would know that when I left, I said I'm off to the PAC meeting, the Public Accounts Committee meeting. But here I am, back again. Why is this? Because when I got to the PAC meeting, believe it or not, folks, everybody traveled down there. We were supposed to be examining the Region 9 and the Ministry of Communities today, those two agencies. When we got there, I'm sitting there waiting, myself and the other members of the opposition there, who's not physical, virtual. And no members of the government side ever showed up. And then we were made to understand that the government side, when called this morning, because the staff usually call the PAC members and ask them if they're going to be coming virtually or physically to the meeting. And when the staff called them this morning, they informed the staff that they will not be coming today. So that was at the 9th hour. Post says that it's ridiculous that they are doing what they're doing. But I want folks to remember that they brought a motion to Parliament at which they passed. They used their one-seat majority to pass that motion to say that to change the configuration when it comes to having a quorum at the PAC meeting. So today, when they were not there, the new amendments that they made to that standing order, it now says that there must be 2 members from the government, 2 members from the opposition, and the chair present for us to actually have a meeting. And there were no members from the government side present today, so we could not have a meeting. So, this is the second time Region 9 has come out, so now Region 9 has to go back. But I want to know that the staff is saying that the excuse that they give is that there's a flooding in Region 9, so they have to attend to that. But we have to note also that I believe it is 3 members of the PAC on the government side are not cabinet members. They're not ministers, And again, I want to say the fact that we were informed that the Region 9 representatives were there. Then if Region 9 representatives are there, how is it that the entire government team is saying that they're not there because of flooding? in Region 9. It goes to show, that the reason why they passed that motion in the first place is make sure that they control whether or not the PAC meet. And today, whilst the opposition members were there, ready to perform their duties as required, the government side was not there, and we could not proceed because of that amendment that was passed. But
And that was the aim of it, to
that
stymie the
was
work of
it.
the Public Accounts
Yeah,
Committee.
because everybody would know we are progressing quite nicely, rapidly moving forward, and we are going to be getting to their years, and that is something that they can't handle. So right now, what they're doing is make sure that they do everything in their power to create a scenario in which we are stuck, but we have to push forward and fight it every step of the way. It's crazy, but they don't want you to see, folks, you listen there, they do not want you to see all the skullduggery
Correct,
that
correct,
went on since they took office
correct.
in 2020. They are afraid for the public to know all the
They're afraid of
corruption
transparency,
that will be uncovered.
accountability, and good governance. Those are the things that really, really affect them.
That is
Really affect them.
correct. That is correct.
But we're going to continue to press forward
Mhm.
and do what we got to do. That is what needs to happen. So I'm happy you're updating members of the public to reach on that front.
Well, usually, when I left this morning's program, I said I'm going to be giving an update on what happened at the PAC in the morning, but it so happens that that update is coming a little faster than I would have anticipated, based on the fact that the meeting was canceled and we cannot even meet today to scrutinize the spendings altogether. We have no fear of scrutinizing the years before us. We go diligently, make sure that we meet all the time. But now that we're getting closer to their year, they want to do everything in their power to make sure that we do not meet. And it's not an excuse that the flood in the Region 9. It's not an excuse, because I can assure you the all five members of the government side is not dealing with Region 9,
Yep,
or
yep.
did not travel to Region 9 and all of that. They probably should post some evidence of why that hampered their ability to actually attend the PAC today.
Yeah, and one wonders because this issue came up, if I'm remember correctly, Rita,
Mhm.
of them deliberately trying to stymie the work of the PAC, and they deny that.
That is the point that we made that's the point that we made during the debates, that they are deliberately trying to stymie the work. But what's going on now? You can see, everyone is seeing the actions that are accompanying that motion right now, and the fact that that was carried in National Assembly by them abusing their one seat majority to do this. They believe that gives them the right to do as they please. I think Ganesh mentioned today that it was since 1963 that the standing order would have been that three members present, regardless of which side, and the meeting goes on. But now they have changed something that has been in place from 1963, and here we are at this juncture, and in which we can't move forward if they are not present. This is what they do. This is the people that claim that they love transparency and accountability and good governance, and when the rubber hit the road and it's put to the test, they fail miserably each and every time.
I'm surprised there wasn't more pushback at the level of the diplomatic corps thus far on that very motion. Because every right thinking person knew what that motion set out to do.
That is correct.
It didn't set out to cure a mischief, as we say in law. It set out to create a mischief. And the mischief was on full display today. If they aren't present, the business of this very important committee, the Public Accounts Committee, cannot go forward. That is what is the issue here.
That is so correct. And we can't, I believe that persons need to be good stewards. And when you're listening to all of these, you need not forget, I think we need to have the accountability aspect of it being pushed. We need to push the fact that they are breaking down the guardrails of democracy and good governance,
Very much so.
transparency altogether.
With
This is what
impunity.
we're saying. Yep, they're breaking it down, and that action specifically has added to that, Sharon, I know that you've been doing some really good work in keeping track of the way in which they have been
Hmm.
breaking down the guardrails,
Kudos to the team at the back end too.
yeah, of democracy. And this is something that needs to be added to it, because this is major accountability is supposed to be happening at the level of the PAC. But this
Yep.
motion now has given the PPP, as is, well, the government of the power to completely stymie the work.
And I think in addition to that, at the PAC level, you all have to track the amount of meetings they're going to miss, the amount
Hmm.
of time the committees didn't meet. All of that affects the productivity, and all affects ultimately the people's business.
Yes,
It
that
is
that
their business we're about, not our own. And that is the challenge that we have. And these guys don't want, apparently they can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
hmm. They're not interested in us getting to their years. They're most scared. They're
Uh,
most scared of us getting to their years, and it's something that you cannot just accept as is.
Correct. We said it. Last, a person may not have believed us, but here is the evidence. Yet another meeting that has to be postponed because the PV people have withdrew themselves deliberately.
Yep.
Deliberately. And here is where we are. So that being said, that's what's happening on that front. Treat anything else you think these lovely people like Glycis Mingo Byrne and Andrew Cuthbert and Kevin, is it Harris, needs to know about Joan Daniels, McKenna, all these lovely, uncontroversial, good-natured people. Anything else they need to know about? Mind you,
Well, I'm looking at them. I'm actually following guys. Like I tell you when I do the podcast, I'm following in on the Facebook front more. So I'm seeing all the emojis coming in from Andrew Cosbert and Beverly Crawford. I'm seeing you guys out there. I'm seeing Desiree Emmanuel. I'm seeing Dices Mingo Born. I'm seeing all those emojis coming in. And Vincent. I'm saying thank you so much for joining us. Make sure that you do your part and share the live stream. like Sharon says it so gracefully. I think Sharon adds some words to that.
here the live stream.
Yeah, but as I want to mention another thing, Cheryl,
Tell us.
this specifically when it comes to what's going on and on the front of health, the
Uh-huh,
Ministry of
uh-huh.
Health.
What's happening there? What's going down?
Guys, we're seeing that the Ministry of Health is on high alert for skin rash cases as monkeypox spread globally. And you would remember that when it comes to the reporting of monkeypox and how it is globally, we have been bringing you that from day one. So
Yeah.
it's nice to see the Ministry of Health catching up.
Yeah.
You
Finally.
know, finally.
Frank
I
always
think we've
suspect.
been
I rather suspect.
we've been speaking about this here. I believe it's over a week now.
Correct?
We
Correct?
have been speaking about this matter, so it's nice to see the Ministry of Health is finally catching up
What are they
with
telling
what is
us?
going on there. Well, I know the Ministry of Health, like we were saying, that they have put the healthcare workers on high alert when
Mhm.
they're looking at cases of skin rash. When somebody goes to the hospital with skin rash, now they're going to be examining very carefully because of the outbreak of monkeypox and the fact that, as we reported from day one, it was the UK and the US.
Uh-huh.
That was reporting cases of monkeypox there from persons that were suspected. I think one traveler from Nigeria or so forth. But now, within just that short period, I believe we have 12 countries that have reported cases of monkeypox
Wow.
within
Wow.
that short
So this thing is
space of
spreading.
time. Yes.
And I heard that the spread is not in areas that, as they say, is endemic
Mhm.
to monkeypox.
Yeah.
So it is outside of the usual places you see monkeypox spreading. That is cause for concern. Wasn't it President Biden himself who we reported this morning as saying, there is cause for concern.
That is correct, and I'm taking it off of one of the online media houses that says the Guyana Ministry of Health has advised all medical personnel to immediately report severe skin rashes accompanied by other symptoms as the world grapples with the outbreak of monkeypox. Right? It says here that public health advisory signed A public health advisory signed by the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Narayan Singh, was issued to all regional officers, the RHOs, medical superintendents, and senior medical officers and surveillance unit on Saturday. So this is what they did on Saturday, guys. So I am saying that also we give you the news, and you have to be very conscious of this also, so that you will be able to protect yourself.
Correct.
And based on
Correct.
how we know it thus far, with the skin to skin contact that actually spreads it altogether. So that is a bit of information.
That's what
for
we're
you.
hearing. And that being said, Rita, the weather outside, my Lord. The weather outside is something. It's raining.
Sure.
Folks,
You got to fall back.
I gotta fall back. I used to buy my things, I used to buy my things.
I still looking for the fall
26,
back.
26 degrees outside at our end. 26 degrees outside. And it's raining currently. And it's just to tell you how weather.com is accurate. There's a 91% chance that it's going to rain. And folks, it's raining cats and dogs outside.
Listen,
Cats and dogs.
to...
We got thunderstorms into the evening. It's not going to get any better.
No, I don't want any of that.
Thunderstorms into the evening.
Listen, I never want, I always feel, I don't know why, but I always feel safer when I'm at home in Bartica when it comes to any aspect of thunderstorms. When I'm in Georgetown, I do not like to hear the thunderstorm at all.
What's your trigger?
I had, listen.
Why is it different in Bartica?
2005, I was doing I was in sixth form, and I'm telling you, when that 2005 when we had that flood, I never forget it. So every time the rain set up, I am like, oh gosh, I want to go back home.
I never forget either, because in 2005 I was teaching at Marian Academy. I was
see,
probably teaching sixth form.
I was in school. Sure, was teaching. Right. You see the age difference, people.
I got a call that changed my life, because a friend of mine died on the very Friday that rain that precipitated the flood started. Right? Thoughts and prayers, yeah. Rest in peace, Grace and Ross.
Yep.
So I never forgot that. It was a Friday when the rain started. Friday when the rain started.
I see Savage Rizal saying very nonsense happening in MP, plus 200 acres of rice flooded out.
Yeah. We're seeing some of that. We're seeing some flooding in the Rupununi as well. Yep. And folks, send us those photographs where that water is, coming in at your end. Let us see what's happening. You all know our WhatsApp number is one WhatsApp number. We got this, the MMG number. Send us the photograph, 627-6963. Send us those photographs. We're going to publish them in our affiliate program In the Ring. But we're following that, and the rain is raining cats and dogs. And as I said in the morning show, I was in Barbies over the weekend.
Yeah.
And all the way driving down was rain. And you said you were in Bartica and it was raining there. It's
that is correct.
And then you got climate change to add to that. I see Randolph Crystal is joining us. Hey, Randolph says, "What's on Sunday evenings?"
Sunday evening?
Yes, I saw Randolph telling us something here. Let me see if I can get that. Let me see what's happening on Sunday evening.
Well, guys, as I continue to monitor and follow you in the comment section there, let us know what's the weather like on your part. I think it was Dawn Cook says that when she was in Georgia, it was raining, but back on the
Randolph says it's going to be back in here next month, Sunday evening, I think it is.
Okay.
Good to have my brother back.
That is correct. Good to have
my brother back. We can't have too many voices out here. He says this Tucville issue is madness. Randy, stick around for us. We're going to buzz you on that Tucville issue. Stick around for us. We're going to buzz you in a second.
Yeah, we've been monitoring that issue very closely.
Yeah.
Very, very closely. I see Andrew Cosworth, as you run the Tom and so forth. Let us know what is going on your end, folks. So much happening right now. And I see someone asking a little earlier about the issue with the National Library revoking permission for the Burnham Foundation's Independence exhibition. I see someone was actually asking about that. But I'm seeing as it is being reported by news sources, it says in a
Good
state.
source of information.
Yes, good source of information, news sources. That in a statement this morning, chairperson of the Burnham Foundation, Vincent Alexander, said permission was sought and granted for the housing of the exhibition more than 3 weeks ago on the 25th of April, hours before the exhibition featuring Guyana's move to independence in 1966 was set to open at the National Library. The organizer of the event, the Burnham Foundation, was told that the National Library could no longer host the Independence
So much for one
exhibition.
Guyana.
Right?
So much for one Guyana.
Yep. So it says that he explained that last week the Burnham Foundation met with officials of the National Library and details on the mounting of the photo exhibits were provided. The exhibition was set to open this morning at 10 a.m.
Wow.
All right, so this is what's going on there. This is
Wow.
what is going on there. It says Mr. Alexander said he received a call from the chief librarian minutes before the exhibits were to be mounted, informing him that the Independence exhibition by the Burnham Foundation could no longer be hosted at the National Library.
I'm certain, just like the DPP, no reasons were given.
He said that the chief librarian indicated that the library was now in need of the space in the foyer of the National Library where the exhibition would have been hosted. Alexander is convinced that
Yeah.
the decision to revoke permission for the hosting of the exhibition came directly from the government.
Yeah.
I think he's convinced along
I'm convinced too.
with all of us.
Yeah, yeah.
And he said
One Guyana.
Yep, he said the PVP once again shows its dictatorial hand in the attempt to rewrite Guyana's history and to impose itself on the people of Guyana through the total control of the political, social, and economic landscape, while the president mouths one Guyana for
See
local and
Yeah.
global consumption. And that is, I'm
The
quoting
idea
there.
of unity,
Mhm.
it's a sound idea because that's something we need, but in the hands of the people, it's bullshit.
Yep,
I
yep.
said it.
It says here that efforts and to get a comment from the chief librarian Emily King were futile. News source was told that she was attending a meeting.
Always.
Right?
No doubt.
Yep. So it says Guyana gained independence on the 26th of May 1966 under the then Forbes Burnham-led PNC government, with support from Dr. Chetty Jagan and his People's Progressive Party. Both political leaders were committed to Guyana moving forward from British rule and becoming an independent nation. And it's
So much to one Guyana.
so much to one Guyana.
So much
one Guyana. Moments before, this is a political directive. There is nothing else. Let us not pretend that it could be anything else. It's a political.
You mean the
direction.
library didn't know they needed that space all this time? It just done, and then moments before the exhibition set to open. Come on, Emily King. Come on, Emily. Don't come around with funny like that. Don't come around. It's on every front. The government is fighting. Right? Wickedness.
It's dictatorial, the dictatorial hand. I think Vincent Alexander is absolutely correct in what he's saying there. In the dictatorial hand was shown.
Wickedness on every front.
That is correct.
Right? Wickedness on every front. I mean, it is really mind-boggling. This whole issue here. But let us turn our attention. Gentle folks, to what has been happening at Tucville, because the names we keep hearing is Priya Manikchand. The name we keep hearing is Mr. Bridgewater, right? And the parents who turned up to protest the Ministry 26 big dam today were saying they must go. And I'm hearing a Hudson name calling one Hudson. But predominantly I'm hearing Priya and Bridgewater must go. That's what we're hearing. Because this shocking situation at Tucville persists. People touching a wall, your foot come into contact with some water, you're being voltaged. Right? Them things can, right? Those things can never right. You know, so let me pull in our brother Randolph Cucciolo, who we saw in the comment section commenting, and Randolph is a past teacher of Tucville Secondary. Randolph, thanks for joining the broadcast at such short notice. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, Sharon. Can you hear me?
Awesome. So, tell us what is the latest at Tucville. I was just telling our listenership that you were a past teacher there and you've been in touch with this issue. Tell us a little bit about what's happening there.
Um, what can I say? The last bit of information that I got shared is that the ministry has committed that the school needs to be rewired. This was the last bit of information I got from the teachers there, that there need to be some rewiring that needs to happen at the school, at the tune of some $60 million. I heard this was a figure thrown out there, and it will be
They're building a new school or they're rewiring the school?
That is, listen, that's the figure that I heard. Eh? I don't know. I can't verify that that is correct, but that is what was told to me by the folks there at Tucville Secondary. No, Sharon, what got us to this point is more interesting than the actual shock, because this is a situation that the teachers would have been reporting for years now, apparently, right? The school always had a wiring problem. And so to know that we've come so long and this matter has not been resolved. And when the situation came to a head on the first day of this new term, and I know you mentioned the name Bridgewater, when the situation came to a head and the teacher said, look, the school is flooded, we have electrical issues, people being shot, water is in the classroom, we are going to stand outside. It was Bridgewater who instructed the HM to let the teachers go back in school.
Hmm.
Wow.
And, instructed the HM, listen, the teachers must go back in school. And we're going to fast forward, Sharon, to a week ago when the most recent incident happened. A cleaner was in the school. At this point in time, the children are out of school. Cleaners are in the school, though, and they're doing their jobs. The lady picks up a bucket of water to throw it somewhere. She's shocked. The same Bridgewater comes to the school to do an investigation after the people reported, look, this cleaner was shot. Instead of getting the woman medical attention, he holds the woman up in a classroom, investigating, taking statements from her, and sort of refuting the fact that she was shocked. Subsequently, the PS, Mr. King, came with his team, and his words to everyone, he doesn't see how the team could be shocked. There is no way that she could have been shocked. And so that was the situation. This caused, of course, the teachers to be outraged. The PTA people took the woman to get medical attention and so forth. But this was after. The woman claimed that she was shocked. Who are you to say that the woman wasn't shocked and the woman lying?
Yeah.
And so after that issue with the cleaner, which the most recent issue about a week ago, the word is that, look, they have to do some serious rewiring in the school. But many persons are lamenting the fact, Sharon, that, look, it has taken all of these actions, and we see how swift this government is to react when the situation affects a certain set of people, as opposed to those persons who are in AP and UAFC stronghold. And it speaks to this idea, this fallacy that we have, that is one Guyana, that now we have, that they are pushing this one Guyana fallacy. And I am convinced today that the president, when he looks at the news and he looks at what is going on social media, and this laughable suggestion of one Guyana, he's not very pleased at how this propaganda campaign is going, because it's almost as if Guyanese, it's a big joke now. The one Guyana thing is a big joke. I don't know how you feel, but I feel it's a big joke.
But I'm supportive of. I am, as the Chief Justice said. I find your point of view very appealing.
But
Very appealing.
what is interesting, based on what Randy is saying, is that the PS, this is someone that is in charge. This is a person in charge of finance and the financial aspect. The finance steward at the ministry. The PS is making a pronouncement on an electrical matter. Like, how does that even make sense?
Still going to touch you all, trouble to
No,
what?
no, no. Since when does a PS make pronouncement on electrical matter
All wrong now.
altogether? That is something for the electrician to see. And then how could you say that the woman did not get shocked, but then there's need for rewiring of the building? Like pick a position. Like,
Yeah.
what is exactly being said there?
Pick a struggle.
Yeah.
Randy?
It's simply because they failed to do their due diligence, right? You hear?
Yes, Randy. Go ahead.
Hello? Yeah. It's simply because they have failed to do their due diligence as it relates to Tucville and all, and it's as if, you know what? They're saying that they're trying to cast blame on the HM, right? They're saying that the HM didn't do what she was supposed to do. But the woman has maintained that she has a paper trail. She has been writing them for a number of months now, saying that, look, even before school reopens, she said we still have this problem, along with the people at Tucville would have brought in the fire service to do an assessment on the building. This is how far those people are trying to get this problem resolved. And it seems as though it has fallen over the past few months on deaf ears, because the fire service recommended certain actions to be taken because they recognize the issue too. These all things that the ministry knows. But again, it's the area I feel I am convinced that Tucville is not part of the one Guyana. That area that is
Rand, you may be onto something. You may be onto something there, because I want to add to that similar actions or lack thereof has been seen also when it comes to the Ministry of Education and how they have been dealing with the issue at the North Rumpel Secondary School, the school that was burned down, and all of that, and that the slot nature in the way in which they go about dealing with it all together. The fact that they did not replace textbook and all of that, the children are left to basically go beg here and there to see where they can get a room to do IT work and all sorts of nonsense. And had it been in a different area, they would have been sending in their troops to salvage the situation and make sure that there's some amount of comfort for the students and all of that. But yet the students there at Tucville and yet the students at North Rumpel Multilateral has been left as though they have little interest in how quickly they should be resolving the issues that all of those schools are facing.
That's where we are, unfortunately.
Yeah. But you see, they're not part of the one Guyana. If they were part of the one Guyana, the vice president would have sprung into action, grab some money from the consolidated funds, and come to Tucville and say, look, fix this here, fix that, and probably even give the teachers at Tucville a bonus. But Tucville don't fall into that one Guyana category.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to see. I was happy to see that the parents and students out there in front of the ministry actually protesting.
Yes, they were out there this morning.
Today, parents and students out there protesting that
making their voices heard.
And that's what you need to see. They didn't wait to have anybody else tell them that they're going to go and speak on their behalf. They were there raising their voices because this is something that affects them directly. And I think the parents and the students all together that need from all the schools that are being left behind needs to start to do the very same and just gather yourself together and go and protest on these matters.
Yep.
If I can add here, I saw a comment from young brother Lawson Jr. that suggested, look, don't cry, saddle up, because elections have consequences and these things. This is a result of suggesting that, look, stop your crying. You should have figured out how to stay in power. But I say to that, my response to that comment is, yes, we understand this, but in the face of a campaign to seem as if you are inclusive, this One Guyana campaign, it is important that we highlight these issues. We can't look at it as crying. We have to look at it as pointing out the obvious discrimination, the obvious one-sided nature of this government, so that people, next time they go to the polls, they will remember this. And this is my issue.
Correct.
You can't sit in the corner and say, look, I'm being marginalized, but let me just sit down because it was my fault I'm out of power. No, that's not the way to go. I believe that there is a role, like I salute you, Sherrod, and Jarita, and everybody else who's on it every day to ensure that the people of Guyana understand that the installed administration is out to fill their own pocket and the friends of the people in that specific Guyana, that they want to ensure that they are well off. Right? That specific one Guyana that they speak of. Sharon, I am a part of the Burnham Foundation, and I know very well the issues that happened. I was supposed to be doing a video presentation on that exhibition, so we were waiting this morning to go out there and start, doing things. And it is such a surprise. I mean, it shouldn't come as a surprise now, because we know how petty this installed administration is. That minutes before the presentation should start, so all of the time, all of the weeks planning with the library, they didn't know that they had to use the foyer. They just suddenly get something to do in the foyer after already agreeing that the Burnham Foundation would do that exhibition there. It is quite ridiculous and petty. It's similar to Petty Ramson and what is happening there at the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport. I said the other day that I know of some people in the theater fraternity, which I belong to that group also. I know some people there who used to tell me, man, elections, I ain't got time with elections. I wonder if they have time with elections now.
Those folks might be the most vocal now. Those might be some of the most vocal folks.
Exactly. Right. Now that the culture center race moved from 80,000 to 500,000, it essentially means that only the people in that specific one Guyana can afford to rent it. Can afford to rent it. Let me tell you this here. I know of a story, and I wouldn't call any name, but one of the biggest producers in Guyana, right, responsible for a yearly satirical review, a female producer who has a close relative involved in the government, and that does work for the government. I still ain't calling any name. She is supposed to be doing her big yearly satirical show, and had to resort to her spouse calling the president to tell him that Ramson didn't want them to use the culture center. And even after he called the president, Ramson still didn't give any go ahead. He had to message the president again. Then Ramson's secretary called and say, hey, which date you want? That is what we have, that's a level we've resorted to. That one of the biggest producers in the country got to resort to pulling a string through his spouse to call the president to tell he that Ramson didn't want them to use the culture center because apparently this is his room now. And people got to use the bedroom.
Yeah.
That's the information we got. And this is a level it is. So how the average man will get to use the culture center if the big ones can't even use it?
Interesting times. Interesting times. Things are going from bad to worse. Everywhere you turn is a fire to put out.
Yeah. And my final word on this culture center thing, and it, as you step back and you look at it, Sharon, you look at where this government is going. Now, it actually makes no sense to raise culture center rates. And let me say why I say that. One, you're coming out of a pandemic. The people in theater and the arts have not eaten for 2 years, essentially. They've not gotten a chance to do any show. This is how they survive. So now you would think that coming out of the pandemic, you want to support that industry.
Correct.
You want to enable those people to the craft that they get their daily bread from. Secondly, you would think that when the government starts to get more money, things would be cheaper for their citizens. But apparently, the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport is cash strapped, and they need to raise the Races Culture Center so that the government can make some money. That's why I don't see any other reason. And so you decided to run the ministry and the culture center as a business. But the problem with that is that the government boasting all about this billions of dollars we getting from oil, billions of this. So as you get more money, you put more pressure on the citizens apparently. And this is why it makes absolutely no sense. It actually makes sense that you would reduce the rates at culture center. And, it's crazy.
Yeah.
All around, from education to culture, everything.
Yeah. Pocketorian
Anyway,
confusion
that's
problem.
my contribution.
Thanks very much, Randy, for
think
that. Thank you so much.
Randy, before he actually goes,
Mhm.
I was I just want you to confirm that the library, it falls on the Ramson's Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports. Just if you can actually confirm whether or not it falls there.
But I can't
They
necessarily
shift these things
confirm that
around
it's under
so
his
much.
Yes, they
Yeah.
have been
So I'm
because
putting you on the
based
spot
on
there.
yes, because we have been noting so much we have been noting so much that has been happening when it comes to the way in which Mr. Ramson has been managing
Ramson.
things all
Ramson.
together, and I believe that the National Library it falls under the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports, and that alone
Yes,
speaks
it might
volume
be.
to how and why that may have been the directions and that has been passed down to the staff there. But a lot for us to speak about, a lot for us to open our eyes to see the dictatorial nature of the regime as it continues to unfold on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Their attempt to rewrite history,
the
as
people
Vincent
say,
Alexander said.
Yeah. The people saying to use the culture center, you gotta pay Ramson's ransom. Ramson's ransom.
I tend to agree with them. Randy, thanks for coming to such short notice, sir.
Before I go, let me say this. Somebody made an interesting comment the other day talking to them about this issue. The man said, listen, how much chippiness one man could do? And before into Ramson, please he and Damnal fighting one another, so you could do the most chippiness. But the man said,
you'll give this fella wait, what did he say our brother give him? Emotional distress.
Oh yes. Yes.
Emotional distress now, Randy. Emotional distress. Thanks for joining us, Chief.
Ramson gonna do until Jack Dio send him to be REO Region 7 or something.
How soon? Thank you.
Hey, not Region 7. Behave yourself. Good.
Region 7 is rejecting me already. They're only here and they're rejecting, they're protesting.
Randy.
Thanks very much, Randy.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks for coming through. Folks, that's our brother Randolph Christian, the one and only Mr. Rush himself. And we're picking up back on the discussion on Tucville. Today we were, just before coming on, we were part of that protest activity. We stopped in to lend solidarity with the folks there at the protest concerning the Tucville school and what's happening there. The parents, they were up in arms. The parents took the kids and they protested the Ministry of Education, protested Bridgewater, protested Priya, protested Hudson. They were very upset and livid, folks. The folks were livid, the parents. They're asking, how could this be? How could this be? We want to bring some of that commentary to you, folks. We want to bring some of that commentary. It was livid. It was livid. It was livid. We're going to have that in just a second for you. It was livid, folks. We want to bring that to you. Some of the comments out of that engagement, the way it went down earlier, just before we came out with our podcast.
Go way back since my children are going there. So it only gets worse now.
That's right.
So what Priya and Bridgewater talking, the excuses get me pissed off. Because it's nonsense. And the next if it's all Guyana, do it.
That's right.
If it's any other of them out the area school, they would have fixing it a long time ago. They would have find a building. All we asking is to find a building for the children to go learn until they fix the flat building. We know they can't break it down, but find a school. You got South, you got Lodge, you got Enterprise, you got certified electrician that could come in and fix it. Fire service, send it to them. Fix the school.
Fix it.
Fix it. And one day go, I want Priya go and Bridgewater go and get shot. And then they're going to understand. This parents still is suffer at your hand. And you going to have about the parents and can't get shot. My cousin here.
Yep.
And then my uncle child get shot. And you going to tell she should lie in it? I know she don't walk how she's walk. It's the shocking that she just friend don't walk how she's walk. It's the shocking. I know about shocking because my husband used to work on GPLE there and he showed me electricity. And I know this field. I one day get it. I sparks black people.
They got to fix the school.
They got to fix the school and they got to fix it right now. They gotta fix it now. It's too long. Let the children go learn. It's time for the children to learn. Stop putting black people children down. Stop putting them down and let them fix the school. Mark exam children coming up. Not every child got a gadget. Not everybody got internet. So how the children learning?
Because with the electricity, during this season here, when the rain falls, my daughter teacher will call and say, I can't do Zoom class today because the internet is bad. We all know the type of internet we're getting in Guyana. So many days we're going without actually having Zoom classes. So how long are we going to carry on with this same behavior? It's not only about that, but we also have the problem with the roof. We have the flooding in the school. Under the school itself, there's flood. Only God and heaven knows what they're under the school. We got teachers got to stand in water to teach. It's unfair. And we need to get this sorted out. We need to get this fixed. They can't just be saying everything is okay with the school and not coming. If you're not coming to see for yourself, you cannot say that Tucville is good. It's unfair.
You know that the school okay.
Let her go.
I am Tessa Williams. I resumed duty on the 11th when I was shocked. I was throwing out some water in a bucket. And when the water catch my feet, it started to run up the current. And I reported to the guard, the first person, that I get hit. And they take it for a joke. And I was taken to an outside doctor by Mr. Bristol and Mr. Peters with medication and 14 days leave.
And they still standing your medical bill up to now.
Up to Friday, our hands will.
Yep, folks. Some of the comments coming out of the protest we lent our support to early on. We got to be boots on the ground, folks. And these were the parents out there making their voices heard. You got to be boots on the ground. You got to support. Here's some additional comments from those parents who were out there in front of the Ministry of Education at 26 Big Dam saying, Priya must go, Bridgewater must go, Hudson, out the place on this Tucville school issue of being shocked. The students being shocked. The accommodations there are inadequate. They want justice.
Home, preventing them from transportation. Now when you can move them all around, we need the school to fix now. These children were placed there because they live near to their homes.
Yep.
And that is what we needed to fix now so they can go to school. My granddaughter is suffering. It's only because the extra work at home, I can see I just continue with her unless you get good grades this time, but it's not nothing to do with the school. I gotta go to and put on my internet on my phone so she can receive work when it's online work. It's not fair. We need the school to fix now. We need those children to go to that same school before the month.
Yep.
Out. Call GPL.
Call GPL.
Call any fire service. Call everybody. Let her rip open the walls. Let her rip open the walls. Rip open it. All where the pints are leading is simple. Rip it open to see if something in the wall without current. That's why GPL gotta come. That's why GPL gotta come. GPL gotta.
Yeah, lots of concerns here, folks. Take a listen.
Come. That's right. It got to go in the wall without trunking, make it shocking.
Who she be? Bridgewater is a teacher, make he be how he be. The president is a teacher, make he be who he be today.
And we need the school to fix.
They're going to be who to be today. So
and we need GPL to come in. No.
Let there be a president, let there be a prime minister coming up.
I just want to say something. They're saying that the government of this country is for everybody. And what I'm seeing there, it's not for one Guyana. If that school was in another area, we would have seen progress. A lot of people, they were going to put what they had to put in place so that children can learn. Look at the area. The area is populated by mostly African people. And we're talking about, look at the children. If the children do not have a proper education, it starts from the primary school. What are they going to be in later years to come? Don't think about yourself. Think about everybody. We need our school to be fixed as soon as possible. That is what we're looking forward for. Thank you.
Primary and secondary, so both needs to be fixed.
Who was the other person shot?
The other,
This young lady.
this young lady on the corner. I think she was right here. She was speaking to you. I know she was. She was talking to you. Oh, this lady.
You were shocked too, ma'am?
Yes.
Tell us how.
I was in the parents teachers conference, and while sitting on the chair on the bench, my hand touch the wall and I get a first nip, and I say it's nothing. But when I go back on the wall, raise the wall, it shocked and the whole hand get numb. So right away, this and Miss Baffigans said to me that they gotta stop the meeting, and they send me to the in the pharmacy to the doctor there, and they sponsor everything, but nobody never called
Y'all hear that? You hear that, Teresa?
I'm listening.
me until last week Thursday. I was in school because I got GTI. I was there. They called me and asked me if they could talk to me now about what happened at Tucville School since last year, November. So I want to know. I tell you, Miss, I'm in school and I can't speak to you about that right now. Afterwards, after lunch, you could call me. She never called back. Nobody never interested in what happened or what is going on at Tucville School. But my son go there and I need something to be done. And it needs to be done right now. That's all
Wow.
I have to say.
Wow.
Internet bill is very high. And the China got to do the work on the line. And I've got to left my phone with my daughter when I'm going out to do school work. It's very expensive with the internet. And my husband don't get paid up to now and the internet cut off. So
Wow, that's the reality on the ground.
I don't know what's going on with she school work for this balance of this week. So we need something to be done right now. Right now at the present moment, because it was somewhere else, everybody Pirimani Chan, everybody would have gone with Pirimani Chan and look after the building. So what about we, Negro Poor? We are a dog, we's not a dog. We are as Guyanese, we all see the soon. I never travel and go nowhere, and I need things to be done for my daughter. The flooding, the water is very stinking in the schoolyard. It's very stinking. So it needs to be done. We need to be finished right now. That's all I got to say.
All right, so we're taking some of the views of the parents here who outside of the Ministry of Education. I think this is Brick Dam we run, and 26 Brick Dam. 26 Brick Dam we're in front of, and we're getting the views of some of the parents. Oh. Ma'am, you want to share some views with us on the situation?
I've never seen no teacher here, right? I'm blaming the teacher. You understand? But it's enough. This children got the right month after next, and we're really going down. what is really going on? No school. Is we alone facing it, you know?
It's poor people children. You think that time it was QC or Bishop, Priya, and them need up at QC and bishops looking after them children A1. And now it's coming to Tucville Secondary School. Why? Why it come to poor people children? They're suffering single parents. Everybody, internet, right now is a single mother. When I get me child, third family getting work. Fourth farm now, Priya, come here, son, to look after these children, yeah? Because I so angry, you are Hudson. Hudson is black people children. Come out, Hudson. Sit down, get up on your seat. Because these are black people children. And if you don't do something, nothing can do. Bridgewater, Hudson, and Priya, the three y'all up there, come out. It's poor people children suffering. Tucville Secondary School always in a problem. The administration is going to head teachers meeting. She complaining. Y'all are doing nothing. Why? Why, Priya? Why? Why these poor children got to suffer? She want to be education. You know, you child going QC? She going QC. She sit down in class. She sit down in class doing work. And what to these poor people children? They want education just like she. They want education just like she, Priya. Come on, not snap, Priya. Do something for these children.
What are your views, ma'am?
I don't share my views already. I don't share my views. I don't to reach me here this morning. You have to come and talk to the school and then I'm messaging back and tell him reach me here. Enough is enough. These children got to write month up. To the next comments, what's really going on?
How long
man.
So since they tell them to stay home and do the online learning, they haven't said anything back?
No. They're not getting nothing. They have to go at some school. Right? But the furniture, then then get to go. Right? But I didn't know what happened. The talk Friday, but what happened? What happened? We need to know something about these children. We need to know something about them. Come on, man. These children are way back in line, buddy. Way back. Oh, enough is enough. Is we suffering for our children. That's my last child. And it's easy woman said we not getting no justice. Let me come out here and let them know, the public know what's going on. Let them know what's going on. Put system in place that these children get somewhere they could go to school. They're way behind time, and it's month after next is their common entrance. The lady go, she cleaning, she get shocked. She get shocked with your hand. You see her hand how it swell up? Come on. Your hand swell up. Let me do something for the black people children. Come on, man.
It's we the PTA and the church and the alumni looking after her. Patient bill, doctor bill. By up to Friday, we buy medication for her. Them things is not right. Them things is wrong. What Priya and Bridgewater doing? Not Hudson. Hudson doing the work is they undermine their Hudson for this, for making it look bad.
Y'all let me come down here and do something because we ain't getting no hearing. The school are the same way.
As long.
Tragic. Any views, ma'am?
My grandson, he is just 7 years old. Now the child starts school, the child ain't learning nothing. We at the home just running and playing. You got to talk to the TV. I ain't got a TV home for him. So I can't get it. How much time the father take to school? No school. No school, no school. And it's very hard on me because I've got to sit down with him with his book. Where's the sense to have a school and the children can't go in it? Let them do something with the school. The children need to go to school. It's very, very hard on us.
Thank you. Folks, that are the views of the folks here. They have been just invited into the building to talk with someone. Who's inviting you all up?
We had a call with our head of the PTA, and she's inviting us up to have a sit down in the conference room. She's saying a lot of us can't be held there, so we're saying we don't mind. We want the children to be there. Maybe some of them we will stand and let them sit so they can explain how this is affecting them personally as children, since they are the ones that needs to be in these Zoom classes where teachers are showing up when they feel like I don't even know what to say, but it's really a choice that teachers cannot be out here with these children.
Yeah.
If you're teaching, you love something, you need to care for these children like these children are your own. You can't, because if it was today, they'd say, okay, y'all ain't getting paid for 2 months since y'all not housing public school children in public school. It would have been a different thing. Everybody would have been out there for their salaries.
Good. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yep. That's how things went down there today, folks. Just a short while ago, there was that protest action in front of the Ministry of Education, 26 Brick Dam, and we spoke with a number of the parents there who frustrated. They want the kids to be in school learning. Exams are coming up, NGSA coming up in a month and a half's time. They want to be in a classroom, receiving instruction, receiving an education. They're upset. They are upset. They are livid. You heard them. They're angry that, this is the 3rd week since school reopened after the Easter holidays. And this is what obtains in the school system. We can't kick down the can down the road. Priya, Bridgewater, Hudson, we got to actually solve some problems. Please and thank you. Romilly, Andy, we see you guys there, and we see your concerns about this problem as well. Bella, Mona, and Leslie Hollingsworth, Patricia Kitsoon, we see your comments. Rhonda Lane, we see your comments as well. And Deborah Clark, Leon Logan, we see your comments there. Deborah Clark, we see your comments, and we're so happy you guys have joined the podcast today.
Yeah, one of the main things here, I heard all the comments there, but we always speak about the fact that when all is said and done, poor people are left to grapple with the results of all that's happening around us. And the point was made very profoundly there by those parents out there with their children, students of Tucville Secondary School, that it is difficult, it is difficult for parents to be having to provide internet for their children and all of that. You're speaking about persons that have been struggling to make ends meet in an economy that we are seeing inflation rates going up every single day. These are the persons that are out there that are not getting the support. These persons have not been seeing increases in their wages and salaries, but yet they're expected to provide the facility, the internet connectivity, the tablets, the phone, or whatever for their children to have an education. And I want to make the point also that a lot of times, even the teachers that they expect to go online and teach, even some of those teachers are seeing it extremely difficult to actually pay for internet on a monthly basis. These are the real issues at hand right now. They're not making any big salary or anything like that. And those parents are absolutely correct. If it was some other schools, they would have been rushing there to make sure that they do everything in their power so that there are no complaints coming out and all of that. But Sharon, I always speak about the whole point of having equity, an equitable access and equitable resources and all of that. And that is the point that you're seeing right there. And the need for it is being on full display there with this issue of the Tucville school rather. And what I want to say in regards to this is that we oftentimes see, schools with different results and all of these things coming out, right? But then when you get down to why is it? And we see when certain schools are being starved of the resources to make sure that they can the students there are afforded the equitable opportunity to perform at the level at which we all want them to perform. We understand why there's such a big distinction in how students perform at exams and all of that, because some of them are being starved of resources. You have a serious situation as what is going on there at the Tucville school. Electricity concerns are extremely serious concerns. Fix it so that the students could get back into the classrooms. It's simple as that. Fix it.
Yeah.
I don't see what is so difficult in that. The parents are right when they said if it was a different school, they would have been out there, ripping out whatever, doing something immediately. But it's because it's that school, they don't see the need for the urgency. And unless we fix this problem and make sure that persons have equitable opportunities and equitable resources are being injected into the school system, so the schools at every single level are receiving the same, this not even the same, but they are receiving what is needed to get them on par with the higher level schools in the country. We are not going on anywhere. One Guyana is nothing. It's just words, unless if we are not fighting to get to that point. Who needs more has to get more. Who require less, give them less. We need to have equity when we're talking about education. We need to have equity when it concerns health and all of these things. This is unacceptable. It hurts my soul to see what is going on right there. Being a mother myself and having children in the school system, I know exactly what these parents are talking about.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable. But that's going to do it for us at this time, folks. This has been our program. This has been our time. Below the belt, thanks for joining us, Andrew Braffett and Gloria Gordon, Isabella Butters, Jane Ann McDonald, Orin Don Cook, Mayborn King, Yvonne Ramasar, and Irwin, all the other folks joining us. We're so privileged you tuned in today. These programs are what you guys make it. We are so happy that you guys join us day after day. We try to bring you guys credible and valid information. We cannot do it without you folks, and that's why we ask you guys to partner with us so we can keep the lights on, we can keep the doors open. Guys, we're available via Cash App, we're available via Cash App, we're available via PayPal,
MMG.
via Zelle, MMG, available via MoneyGram as well, and via Western Union, all for your convenience. Do partner with us, folks, so we can do more of this. We can expand what we're doing. We got a special project on, we said, at the morning program to procure a particular piece of equipment. It's going to cost us a tidy penny. We hope that you guys really come on board and help us to go pace and power, guys. Pace and power. That's it for us on this end. Drina.
That's it from us. That's it from us. We'll continue to monitor these situations. We will continue. We will continue. I note your comment there, Marlene Lerma. I was just reading it through. I'll follow up on that for you. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Have a great day. See you this evening, Rick.
Stay safe. Stay safe. Thanks for joining Below the Belt. Who vets lose? That's our time.